This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame class here. Sting on top. What a worthy main event guy to be in this Hall of Fame class. You go back to almost darn near the very beginning of his career. What did you think of Sting finally getting in?
I thought it was way overdue. Sting was a guy that was loyal to one company, and much like Shawn Michaels, never left WWE. Sting never left WCW. He was always there, ready to work and work his ass off. He basically was the figure and the face of WCW the entire time he was there. And I thought it was very, very overdue and very deserving. Plus, he's just Steve Borden is a pro and a nice guy and all the things that you're happy for a person when they are all of those things, to get a accolade like that.
We also would see the former Big Boss Man, your old pal Ray Traylor, go in. You were a part of Jim Crockett Promotions when he first breaks in as an enhancement guy. Dusty sees something with him, puts him with the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette. But he really struck gold when he went north, joined Vince McMahon, and now he's headlining Madison Square Garden and Boston Garden and taking superplexes from Hulk Hogan off the old Big Blue Cage. The Big Boss Man was a staple of the first major run of the WWF, and he finally got in here, unfortunately, posthumously. Any good Ray Traylor stories you could share with us?
Well, number one, Ray was born and raised probably about 30 miles down in Paulding County, Georgia, from where I was raised in Rome, Georgia.
Wow.
That's just what a small world it is. And from day one, you could just tell Ray. I mean, Ray had to be 360 pounds.
Right.
And he moved across that ring as smooth as a 200-pounder. You just knew right away the guy had talent. And he's one of those guys that was just a natural. Nobody that size is supposed to move like he did and get up and down like he did. And he was strong as an ox, and he was a pro, and he knew from day one it was a business, and he conducted himself like a businessman. And, I loved Ray. I would venture to say everybody loved Ray Traylor.
Another name on the list here, the Fabulous Freebirds. You and I have spent our fair share of time with Michael P.S. Hayes. What a character he was. It meant a lot to Michael to get in and to be able to do this speech and run around with his pal and sing the Freebird song, Bad Street USA. This was a moment, was it not?
Yeah, well, that whole ceremony is tailor-made for Michael Hayes.
Yeah.
He can wear a very expensive, gaudy suit, absolutely atrocious, some pair of go-to-hell socks and shoes, and some pimp hat, and just go out and just show his ass and get away with it because it's acceptable.
Yeah.
So, those of us that know that that's really Michael, that's not Michael up there just performing.
Right.
That's who he is. That's who he is probably most of every day to this very day, for that matter. So certainly the Freebirds were trend setting. They were a credible act, the three of those guys. And when you get guys that fit that well in their thinking and their job description, and they all blend in there, and they had a hell of a run. And it was very fitting that they would be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
We got to see Stan Hansen get put into the Hall of Fame too. And Vader was the guy to induct him. Of course, these days, myself and a lot of other fans who grew up big WCW fans, we're hoping Vader gets his day in the sun sooner rather than later. Any good Stan Hansen memories? We've always heard he was blind as a bat, and he might whip your ass, but not intentionally.
Stan was a great guy. He was also probably 320 pounds and in the best cardio shape of any guy you will ever see. You cannot blow him up. You cannot get him tired. You cannot slow him down. And that's probably from all those years of wrestling in Japan, because, buddy, over there, it's a fist fight every night. And I had the opportunity when I was with WCW to be partners with Stan a few times. I was on the opposing team from Stan a couple of times, and to see him standing across that ring, squinting at you, pulling up that rubber thing that he wore on his arm was about as bad a nightmare as you could possibly ever have. But yeah, man, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. That's for sure.
We've also got some other names here I want to touch on. Jacqueline Moore, Miss Jackie, Miss Texas, whatever you want to call her. Now you can call her Hall of Famer. She was ahead of her time, probably just in her look and presentation. Wouldn't you agree?
And the fact that she kicked most of the guys' ass in the locker room legitimately. You know, she was double tough. The one that really saw that in her and brought that out of her was Kevin Sullivan. You know, he was huge, along with myself and Finley and most of us, huge Jackie fan. And she was just she was an ass kicker back before women were ass kickers.
Your old pal Charles Wright, the former Godfather or Goodfather, was there. I don't think you actually worked a match against him, but you certainly spent some time there when you were an agent and he was in the ring. Did you ever work a match with Godfather?
I didn't. And I don't know that I was ever his agent either. I know that when you talk about entertainment on the show,
yeah,
that's good entertainment.
Oh yeah.
There's rotten entertainment. There's good entertainment. Godfather, coming out of that curtain with his chicks, brought the crowd up every single night, and it would let them up, like we like to say, you know, when you're having match after match after match, and it's nice to have a let them up segment. He was very entertaining in that role.
He would not only let them up, he would light them up. He's a big marijuana advocate, and so was another Hall of Famer here, Snoop Dogg. What do you think of the idea of including celebrities in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Well, if they are good celebrities and entertaining and they have brought something to our show, I'm pretty sure Godfather and Snoop rode to the show together that day, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. No doubt about it.
They had to be so high by the time they got there, they could not believe it. That's just a no-brainer. But Snoop's always been cool over the years. You know, he's done stuff with the show. He has he's a relative of Sasha, Sasha Banks, I think, right?
Yep.
Were you aware of that?
I think that's his cousin, right?
Yeah, something like that, niece or something.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's right.
And I think, he helped maybe get her started or something. There's a story there, but it's way cool. Having him go in the Hall of Fame, didn't bother me at all. That's for sure.
Last one, your old pal Joan London. Remember all the times you were riding up and down those roads, drinking beer, telling wrestling stories, sitting under the learning tree of Joan London?
I watched Good Morning America, and I had a crush on Joan London when I was younger. I thought she was very matronly. But the WWE Hall of Fame, I was just, before I crack a bad joke or something, I think she had a lot to do with breast cancer awareness.
Yes. And
she led the charge for that. And we shared some of that responsibility on our show, which we were all very proud to do. It's a responsibility of all of us. So the fact is, she probably did more than quite a few people who were in the Hall of Fame to just do some really good work with her life. And if we can honor her that way, then damn right.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.